Welcome back, everybody. Episode 10.
Hey, guys, guess what?
You're not doing the intro this time. It's me.
I should do the intro. I always do the intro.
I'm a complimentary, and this is man.
We've broken a 10-episode standing tradition.
You fucked it up real bad last time.
I fuck it up every time.
You do, but you fucked it up more last time.
You know, speaking of fucking things up.
Episode 10, bro.
Speaking of fucking things up, why don't you talk about our first topic?
Our first topic? Okay. If anything, this is a fuck up on your part. Okay.
You need to lead into this from your perspective slow. Don't lead with the lead.
Okay, so just don't explode on you.
Don't explode
my
just
hot cum. Okay.
Walk me through the events of that morning.
All right, here. Let me get a little bit more personal. Let me bring the mic up. All right, friends. It was a nice, sunny. I believe this was Saturday, right? This was Sunday. This was Sunday. Okay. It was a nice Sunday. The sun was out. It was a crisp 80 degrees, and personally, I'm someone who enjoys the summer. It was very nice out. Actually, it wasn't that great of a start to the day because I had only gotten sleep for an hour. I had spent nearly the whole morning with this goofball over here.
This absolute buffoon, if you will.
Playing Magic. Playing one-on-one Commander. Awful.
10 out of 10. Would recommend.
To be fair, I won like half the games, and you won the other half. Regardless.
We played 3. I won 2. That's not half and half.
No, we played 4.
I won 3.
No, you didn't.
No. Rishkar, Karn 1. I didn't win Karn 2. What was the fourth?
What was the fourth?
What was the fourth?
It was I ran
Rishkar, Karn 1.
Narfi.
Karn 2. Narfi. I won the Narfi one.
No, because I did Narfi twice. Anyways. Went 2-2. Not too bad. Not too shabby.
He's misremembering, but that's fine.
He's misremembering. Demeanor.
No, I'm Mania.
I'm complimentary. Okay, enough about that. So, the Sunday morning starts. I've had about an hour of sleep, and I'm a little loopy. I'm a silly goofball. I'm just feeling razzled, okay? I'm told, hey, I want to take you out for a wonderful breakfast at this new place I found. It's
Hold on.
great.
Me and my girlfriend found it.
I know. Both of you found it, and I was like, keep in mind, you talked about this like a week in advance, right? So
we planned it with you a week in advance.
Right. So it's like, oh, sure, that sounds brilliant. The day comes. I'm like, whatever, I'll stay up into it. And we did. Both of us did. Yep. I only got like an hour of sleep. I don't even know if you slept.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Okay, yeah. So he didn't sleep at all. I get up. We get ready. I get some nice clothes on. And by nice clothes, I mean I just put some deodorant on and walk out in the same shorts and shirt I had been wearing the past day because I had just been vibing at someone else's place without packing any clothes because my backpack was entirely filled up with Magic stuff.
Magic the Gathering, trademark card game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, but good.
Enough about card game opinions. We go out to your girlfriend's car.
Mm-hmm.
And that really weird Prius.
It's a normal Prius.
I don't understand. Like, when she stops, it says it's getting 99.99 miles to the gallon.
It's because stopped, she's getting 99.99 miles to the gallon.
It's stupid as hell. It's funny, but... Okay, anyways. We go to redacted location. These guys thought it'd be really silly and funny.
Hold on. So... There's like a half-hour drive.
Yes, there's a half-hour drive. I spent it just talking to y'all.
Yeah, you asked a few times, and I...
Yeah, you guys were not inclined to give me any idea of where the hell we were going.
If you will.
Dubious little fellas. Anyway, we pull up near a hospital that I've seen a few times.
No, we pull up in a hospital
parking
lot.
We pull up near it, and I'm like, okay, where are we going? Because normally this is a way out to, like, the work area, like where a bunch of factories are and stuff. And then we actually pull into the hospital. Wasn't expecting that. And I was like, okay, maybe they're, like, cutting through to, like, get through traffic easily, because it was a pretty, dense area. I have another buddy that drives through the hospital to get to work sometimes because it's faster. Technically illegal. They don't care. It's a hospital parking lot. And then we stop. These fuckers say, we're here. Are you shitting me? What are we eating? Old people? What the fuck do they offer at a hospital?
They actually have a decent cafeteria there.
Oh, no. Don't even get me started. We walk in. The lady looks at us kind of weird at the desk.
Waved at her?
Yeah, you waved at her. She looked at us and gave us a side eye as we walked down because it's a group of 4 teenagers / young adults.
We're all in our 20s.
Yes, young adults, teenagers / young adults. We walk down the stairs. They say, "Oh, get ready. There's a pretty good cafeteria here." We walk down those motherfucking stairs, and you know what I see? I see, Cafe Bistro or whatever the shit it was called. The doors are closed, my friends. Closed. Do you know what was available to us for breakfast? A pocket-size Starbucks. A Starbucks. Do you know what I had for breakfast that day? I had a fucking cup of hot coffee. What a fucking roller coaster, my friends. God. What was in your two's goddamn mind? You guys thought, from what you told me, the days that you went there before, there's like tables of food lined up. You know what I saw? I saw some really sad fucking breakfast sandwiches lined up right next to some barista who was not taking our shit. Simply put.
The cafe there is actually not bad, and it's fairly affordable. The issue is it's open on weekdays, and you guys work, so...
I'm pretty sure that guy actively tried to avoid us after I was like, because I had never gone to a Starbucks. I was like, venti? Like the big one? That's a mungo, sussy baka. Yeah. That was
I had also
quite
never
the experience.
been to Starbucks. Props to the girlfriend for figuring that one out.
Yeah, she kind of just ordered for all of us. And to be fair, the coffee, even though way overpriced, was actually pretty good. Yeah. It woke me up. And then
it cost about twice what I would pay for it.
Yeah. We went to an actual place, IHOP, and got some pretty good food, and I felt pretty good after that.
Honestly, such a solid joke. If you guys ever have the opportunity to just take your friends to a hospital for no reason, 100% you should do it. Walk in. There's usually no one that checks you. It is a solid time. You feel like mischievous little cretins. 110%. Just kidnap your friends and drop them off in a hospital.
To be honest, it was a pretty good time. We had some interesting discussions in there. Also, it was really concerning when the fire alarm went off.
Oh yeah,
because
we got chased out by a fire alarm.
There was a fire going on like the second floor, and
we
were like,
floor. We were on the basement technically.
Yeah, I was thinking second floor only because like it felt like it was the first floor, but like.
No, it was the floors second? Are actually numbered. We were on the second floor. Hey,
you're getting outnumbered. Harley, who was also there, is also saying it was on the second floor. 2-1, man.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they said second floor on the intercom.
Like an announcement.
And that announcement said second floor, buddy.
It said first, buddy.
I don't know, man.
We were on basement 1.
I don't know, man. I think that coffee got to you, bro. You had some spiced coffee.
You spice?
No.
You spice?
Yeah, fire alarm happened. What was some of the discussion we had in there before the fire alarm went off?
I don't know.
We were talking about gorillas.
We joked around a lot. We did talk about gorillas. That's what we call foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. You guys are not prepared for the episode that is 13. Jesus Christ. You guys are in trouble. I'm simply saying.
Plot twist, it's not Harambe.
Oh, my bad, episode 12. It's not Harambe, though. So, that was my breakfast Sunday morning. Honestly, pretty good experience, though. You guys need to take me somewhere even weirder next time.
We've joked about it. We've also joked about taking other couples to that same hospital for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, how many times has that worked out?
Right now, once.
Let us not be your last, I guess.
We can't do another set of friends because she has bad memories in that hospital.
Understandable.
So we might kidnap some other friends at some point, maybe.
Turns out people don't have the best time at hospitals. They kind of like get sick or die there.
But we had a good time, just like showing up and drinking coffee in their cafeteria area for no reason.
Actually starving. I'm not even kidding. I think the last meal I had before that was like a chicken sandwich. I've been sitting out for like half a day.
You're right. Yeah, you ate that at like 4 a.m. the night prior.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That was a very splendid day though. We got a lot done.
Yeah, including going to the hospital.
Beyond the personal experiences, I thought that would be pretty nice to open up with. Let's talk about what you brought up to the table. Something that we could definitely talk about in Very, very great detail. So, how do fiction worlds travel over into other medias? How well do they do that?
I believe my topic is that they usually do it very poorly, and that
Yes,
there are
they
some
do.
hilarious examples. The one that prompted this was, hey, God of War would be a terrible book series.
Yeah, it would be.
Because, like, you think about the first 3 games, it's like gratuitous action, and that doesn't translate to the page super well. Not to mention, like, repeatable gameplay loops can be satisfying to play through, but, like, on a book,
It'd be kind of weird if it was like, okay, so he does the exact same move, but on these guys now, and on
yeah,
these guys.
but a little faster and a little better.
And a little faster and a little better. Sometimes there's like a sort of magic to it or whatever. Like it just doesn't cross over very well.
And then the 4th and 5th games are just not great books, because, like, a huge reason the 4th game is any good is because it's like a long form journey.
Mm-hmm.
And those are great as a book, but the, like, plot points it pulls on from that journey is like slow things you've added to your toolkit after you've picked them up and, like, gotten them over the course of a story. Like, that in a book is just super boring. Like, you're reading through 10 chapters of Kratos just adding a random magic thing that lets him get past certain areas, and then you read him get past those areas, and eventually the plot happens.
That would be pretty lame to just have to listen to. On an alternative note, D&D is a video game, and I know Baldur's Gate exists and all that, and that's cool. Baldur's Gate is a pretty good interpretation of having like a story set in D&D, but D&D itself, like the entirety of it as a game, literally could not work.
I mean, Solasta is basically just the 5th edition rule set as a video game, and so is Baldur's Gate 3. Several versions of D&D as a video game exist throughout Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights and other things. They all follow the rule set pretty spectacularly.
How do I put this? Can it be any setting possible?
I guess it's like this, right? Like, the idea behind it is, here is what a D&D session could look like if the player characters all act like this and the dungeon master has this adventure planned.
Yes. But it just literally cannot cross over as a video game.
Fair enough. I don't think D&D perfectly works as a video game, but I don't think the setting is something that fails. I don't think it fails entirely as a video game setting. It works pretty well.
I think it, no matter what, kneecaps the creativity to a large extent, because you just can't have it be anything like you can with D&D.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. Magic the Gathering, the story, in any other medium.
Yeah, it'd be garbage.
Because it's garbage now, but the characters are, like, cool and mysterious enough that you like seeing their pictures on cardboard with a little bit of flavor text hinting that they're a badass, right?
They're vague enough. It's like, okay, well, like, feed me these snippets and feed me them at this rate, because if I get too much information about this character, it's just going to be kind of lame and cringe.
Yeah, you, like, fill in the blanks and it's a fun and nuanced character. Mm-hmm. But, like, you actually read the story and it's not.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really touched the comics or, like any of the webcam comics online, any of the books. They're all bad.
So, like, most of the Darksteel and the original Urza's books were actually, like, written as novels before the Magic cards came out. In fact, the brothers were set and came out, like, I want to say 10 years after the novels. So, like, there's an exception to the rule there, but, like, genuinely, yeah, it'd be terrible as anything other than cards. I think that's why you get other IP in Magic, but not really Magic IP in other things very often.
Uh-huh. How about this? Mario, but as a book. How would that go?
I think there was a Mario manga, actually, that's, like, very rarely talked about and had, like, a completely different story.
I mean, yeah, but it was I'm talking like a book, like, with words, and that's it.
Pretty sour. I'd imagine the reception to that would be pretty bad.
It would be pretty poor. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Can you think of any anime that just don't work in another medium?
Anime? 7 Deadly Sins as any movie ever. I can certainly say that much.
There are 7 Deadly Sins movies, though.
They're garbage.
Hear me out. I don't think One Piece could work outside of anime or manga, solely because the actors would age before the story could ever complete.
Actually, that's so true.
like Monkey D. Luffy would have to get like plastic surgery and have like 6 layers of
You
makeup
get to
on.
like season 600 and he's got like a cane. The other characters are in like wheelchairs and they're like, well, finally, sooner or later get to the One Piece. And then like Whitebeard pulls out his cock and then everyone says, can we get much higher? So high. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh.
What about Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball? Like in what medium?
Do you think it works in another medium?
I mean, definitely like a movie because we've had movies and the movies are actually
the
pretty
movies, not the movie. Like the live action
not
movie.
the live action.
Okay.
I'm talking like, you know, like
good.
with the
We
Death
can still be
Gods and
friends.
Broly and stuff.
We can still be
Those
friends.
ones are cool.
I thought you were about to say...
No, not the live action.
Okay.
Actually, that's a pretty good example. Like as a live action movie, pretty cringe, pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Honestly, anime in general being portrayed as like live action just isn't right.
What are some video games you think don't translate to other mediums? Because, like, I think a Darkest Dungeon card game would be pretty cool. That'd be bussin'. I'd play the shit out of that. But, like, a Darkest Dungeon movie or, like,
that wouldn't work.
Animated series?
You know what would be cool? Like, honestly, Dark Souls could probably carry over pretty well.
No. God, no.
You
Hell
really
no.
don't think so?
Listen. Dark Souls is good. The story is good specifically because of the gameplay loop. I don't think anyone would give a single solitary shit about all the great, like, depressing world building and story and tone if you weren't playing a character in it. I think as a comic, it would fail. As a manga, it would fail. As an anime, it would fail. As a show, it would fail. And as a movie, it would fail. I don't think there's enough Dark Souls there, and I don't think any medium we have other than video games can express the, like, bleak hopelessness that is just so deep and integrated in the world. Like, think about it. You recognize that the world is so fucked up because, A, there's death, skeletons, and melancholic music everywhere, but B, because those skeletons are killing you every 5 minutes until you finally learn what a parry is. And then the next hardest enemy is killing you every 5 minutes before you learn how to level up with your souls. And then the next are killing you every 5 minutes before you upgrade your weapons. And then by the time you're learning all these, like, endgame strats and you can finally, like, dodge roll around bosses, or you've got a high enough vigor stat to just tank hits, you've mastered the world. You've become part of it. But, like, it's still instilled this tone of hopelessness into you. I don't think you could ever recreate that in any kind of other medium. I don't think it's possible. Probably the closest anything's gotten to that is the Berserk manga. And the way it got to that was having, like, intense character writing, and then those characters would fucking die, or something worse than death would happen to them. And the thing about that is, Dark Souls doesn't have very strong character writing, because the characters are a lot like magic cards in the sense that there's an item description about those characters, and they have a couple lines of dialogue, and you're supposed to fill in the blanks. I
don't know. Maybe it's just the atmosphere or something that Dark Souls brings to the table, but it just feels really cool to explore it in a different medium, and maybe it would fail, but I still feel like there's something to it. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing an attempt being made, even if it didn't work, because then I'd at least know it kind of sucks, like, outside of the medium it's in now. Do I completely disagree with you? No, but something about the atmosphere that Dark Souls bring,
understand this
and how
isn't
unique
a
it is.
criticism to the medium. I don't think it's a compliment or an insult to a piece of media saying it's, like, hard locked into where it is. Sometimes that's a great thing, but it's not supposed to be a criticism. It's, strictly speaking, it's funny that it doesn't work here. Interestingly enough, a hot take: X-Men.
X-Men?
X-Men.
I don't know X-Men very well. I'm gonna keep a $150 with you. You know that one now.
Fuck you.
Remember episode
I do.
4?
Yeah, we talked about
Funny
slang words.
laugh.
Are we like self-promoing other episodes in hopes people check them out?
Yes, please check out the Taupe episode right now. As of recording this, it has 0 views.
Especially you, man in Ireland.
We don't have a man in Ireland.
We
have,
do
like,
now.
We do. We have like 2 dudes in Sweden and a dude in Italy. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Funny.
Use some homies for real.
You guys are funny.
Also, fuck you, Sweden.
Well, that's a little mean.
What was I saying? Spider-Man.
You weren't saying Spider-Man. You were talking about the X-Men.
I was talking about the X-Men. Curse you, Spider-Man!
Okay, so what about Spider-Man? Like, what medium?
X-Men.
X-Men. I don't know X-Men, Tommy.
I'm gonna talk about X-Men, though.
Okay, well then talk about X-Men, but I don't have any input on this one, buddy.
Fair enough. I'm gonna throw it out to you, okay? The X-Men have been in multiple animated shows and multiple movies, and they're always a hit when they come out. But the only medium the X-Men are ever truly great, because the shows and the movies are always never higher than B tier, even the best ones. The only time X-Men are ever really great is in long-standing comics, because you can follow a family that way for a long-standing period of time, and unlike with a TV show, it's not restrained too heavily by budget. So, like, if you're animating it, it's like there's always a giant fight scene, or there's these crazy, like, laser powers and shit going on. You couldn't animate that, you couldn't film that, but you can write that in a comic. I think X-Men really only truly shines as a comic series. Huge part of the reason for that, secondary reason, how often the characters get brought back to life. People get sick of it in the comics. People would get so sick of it outside the comics. I think the stylization of the X-Men doesn't work in any other media either. Like, think about the costume, right? It's like blue spandex with the yellow.
Typical hero attire.
Well, that's never been on any of the X-Men in the shows that they've been in, except some of the animated ones. And it's because you can't put actors in bright blue spandex and expect it to work.
I mean, you can. That would be pretty cool if they did.
I also think Spider-Man.
I think I came.
Spider-Man's a similar situation where, like, all of his stories are so long form that it's really hard to adapt any of them to film or animated series. And when they do, you get the idea of Spider-Man across really well, but not... It's like a parody almost. It's a hollow representation. I love me. Like, some of my favorite films are the Spider-Man films. Even Spider-Man 3.
Even.
Yeah, but I like Spider-Man 3 for the same reason I like The Room, okay?
Ouch.
Like, I love me some Spider-Man films, but they're, like, just not Spider-Man. They don't represent the idea of Spider-Man very well.
Hey, I'm not much into comic books. I would love to contribute more to that discussion, but come one tell you, I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough. What are some, like, things you're a big fan of that you think really only work in their medium? I know you play a lot of Geometry Dash. Do you think a Geometry Dash movie or comic book could work?
Tommy, Geometry Dash is a simple platformer where you take this silly little block and you go through, like, impossible challenges and really tight spaces and shit like that. Do you think it could be anything other than a game? Honestly, take any arcade game. Just any, we'll say Galagus.
I was mostly shitposting, okay?
I'm trying to answer your question, honestly. All right,
I was shitposting.
All sarcasm. LeMayo funny lol. But unsarcasm, no.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What about Terraria? Does the Terraria novel exist?
Actually, they kind of already do. They have like, well, they have like comic books.
Okay.
And it's on the official Terraria like forums and stuff. They're actually not that bad, but like it's more fan fiction stuff than anything. Like Terraria doesn't have like a set of characters it follows. It has the NPCs, yeah, but they're generic and they're meant to just fit a role for your character. Like, I just don't think it could be anything outside of, like, I don't know, the fanficky comics that they have on the forums, and, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay, fair play.
The Binding of Isaac, I have, like, literally 500 hours in, and I still don't think it could be anything other than a game. It could be a comic book, but the problem is it have to be as vague as the game itself, because a lot of the hints about Isaac's story come through not just its really vague and not easy to understand endings, but through symbolism, through both the items, the few things that do happen in the endings, and the environment that Isaac finds himself in.
Couldn't you write a book via point of view of Isaac, though, and just have him describe how he, like, defeats these monsters, and it be written in such a way that you could be like, wait a minute, there's something abusive going on here?
Well, I mean, you can, but the thing is, the way the story is told is that it jumps between Isaac's reality and the actual reality he's in. Because with Isaac, basically, Spoilers for that game, by the way. Isaac's mainly about the gameplay, but if you're about the story, probably don't listen to this part. Isaac, he basically lives in an abusive household, and his father, who had gotten divorced and left, taught him how to use creativity as a tool of escapism. So he uses all these cardboard cutouts and stuff, and that's actually seen in the other spin-off game, The Legend of Bumbo. Yeah, basically, that game actually takes place from Isaac's perspective, where he has a giant box and he's like fighting enemies with like cardboard cutouts and stuff. Like the whole game's made out of cardboard, and he's playing in this box. And at the very end, his mother comes and takes the box away, and he's left in his empty room. Because in the game, The Binding of Isaac, all of his possessions are taken away from him, and he has no way to cope with the very religious and accusing ideals that his mother has put upon him. He feels that he is the reason for his mother's suffering and his father's departure, and so he views these through him being sinners.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he can play as like Azazel, as Samson, as Judas. He becomes all these sinners, and he role plays as them because he believes that's who he is, because of his mom accusing him of this kind of thing.
Once again, that sounds like you could probably write a book about that.
You could, but a very important part of the storytelling is that it leaves his perspective. Pretty much all of the actual gameplay itself is completely in his mind. There's no underground basement that he delves further into, eventually reaching into some fleshy womb and fighting a heart, and then going to hell, and then to heaven, and all that. Obviously, there's no way that could be real. But in a sense, you might believe it's real because it's just an arcadey type of game almost, you know? I think that part's very crucial, and I don't feel like that sort of perspective change could be reflected easily in a novel.
Fair enough. Ironically enough, there are some novels that have been films that I don't think work as anything other than novels. Like, have you read the Aragon series?
Yes.
Okay, you know how, especially in the first book, and it's a huge deal in the later books, but less so, it's a big deal that Aragon can talk with his dragon Sapphira. So, book's a generic sword and sorcery style fantasy book. Dragon Rider can talk to his dragon. Farm boy finds a dragon egg hatches, farm boy becomes a dragon rider. Pretty solid fantasy series. That's really hard to translate into film. Just, there's someone linked to your thoughts at all time, and you can just communicate via thoughts at all time. Just a constant telepathic link. That's so hard to put into film.
Yeah.
There was an Aragon film. There was a movie, and it failed.
Garbage.
It was so bad. It couldn't represent anything that was cool about the book, except maybe the flying and the magic, and that's, like, basically everywhere. And interestingly enough, Aragon is, like, linked telepathically to Sapphira, and they talk like that once or twice, and they just put, like, an echo effect on the characters when they do that, and that's it. It's not...
It's stupid.
It's pretty bad. I don't think it works as a film. I don't think you can film it very well.
Yeah, that kind of ties into, like, the whole thing with Isaac. Like, you have to view it from more than just his perspective, because his mother is probably another very good viewpoint to go to, but at that point, if you go to her viewpoint specifically, you break the context of the original media, the game itself, because you never fully see it from her perspective, but you do see her both in Isaac's drawings, in his art, in his mind story, as well as in reality when she comes to, you know, rid him of his belongings and all the other things that make him sin.
Can I spit a hot take?
Okay.
Music.
Music?
I don't think anything belongs in music. It bugs me that there's a blank parody of basically everything. I think it's kind of lame. Like, the Minecraft parodies never work, and the reason for that is, like, Minecraft songs are just cringy on principle.
Depends on which one you specifically talk about, because, like, Sweden, bussing. Minecraft parodies, on the other hand, kind of cringe.
Sweden?
Yeah. You know, the Minecraft song, the one that goes do, 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 do.
Oh. Yeah,
do.
I get what
the
you're
Minecraft
saying.
music pretty good.
The Minecraft music is fine. I'm just talking about, like, we're talking about mediums that can't really transfer. I think most video games and books and animes, the things that people turn into songs for some reason, kind of don't belong as songs. Like, there's a whole subgenre about anime character rap battles, and they all suck. They always suck. I'm sorry to tell you guys this, but they're almost never very good.
Well, no, they're not meant to be in that medium. They're just not. That's a very hard medium to cross. Actually, think about this. Think about like Disney movies and a lot of movies that have a lot of music in them. In a way, you could say part of them are fully music videos. How about those?
See, the plot and the voice actors are both written and picked to incorporate music in that medium. So I don't think musicals are nearly as big and egregious as an example as, like, I don't know, I play Pokemon Go every day song for kids.
That's because, sorry everyone out there, hot take, parodies in general are garbage. Like music parodies, garbage. Is that the point you're getting at?
I mean, no, but it can be the point we go to, I suppose.
Tommy, you were just literally roasting them.
I was. I'm talking about things that don't really jump, though. So stuff that doesn't jump genres. Can you think of anything that would make good music, or does make good music, that, like, just hops genres completely like that?
Not exactly. There's, like, rhythm games themselves, but that's because they're based around the idea of music, and you're supposed to play to them, you know? Like Beat Saber, you move to a rhythm. Guitar Hero, you play a guitar to a rhythm.
There are also games that are solid as, like, rhythm games.
There's Metal Hellsinger, Doom, but it's got music. That one's pretty cool, and I think it works very well.
Yeah, good point. I guess because it's our show, we need to talk about Shrek at least once.
Shrek.
Okay, hear me out. Shrek video game, S tier. Great.
Shrek video, if you want to call it S tier.
I not the Shrek video games that are out, but Shrek as a video game. There's like a rage mechanic. You can do the roar to scare people away. There's like random encounters you find as you're like going through the story.
What kind of fucking fever fantasy are you coming up with right now?
Honestly, it would
my
be
brother
solid.
in Christ, you are spitting like blue fire.
Shrek anime would be epic.
We already have that. It's already online.
Yeah, I know. You would just need to ramp every interaction up to 11 and like put some filler arcs and some training arcs with like minor villains and things for Shrek to fight.
Well, that already exists. Shrek fights Biden and Donkey because he's trying to stop Donkey from going to Chin Chin and getting like the inward pass or whatever.
Okay, we're gonna stop talking about that now.
No. Trust me. I forget what's the dude called again. I can't remember, but that anime has been going on for years.
Shrek as a novel?
Shrek as a novel would be actually pretty solid, maybe.
I think it would work pretty well, honestly.
Did we find it? Shrek is the universal tool.
Okay, hold on. Shrek songs, though.
Okay. Shrek songs are bad, okay?
Shrek has good music in the film.
Shrek has good music in the film,
but songs about Shrek, is that why Shrek uses such good music in its films? That's the one, like, media form it can't master?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to make up for it in that way. So basically, Shrek is the skeleton key to all of our problems.
I feel like it's that way with Lord of the Rings, too, if I'm being honest. Like, the world building is so solid, I can't think of a single, even genre of video game Lord of the Rings can't work for.
They even make good songs. We're taking the Hobbit to Isengard, to Isengard, to Isengard. We're taking the Hobbit to Isengard, Isengard.
Tell me, where is Gandalf? For I much desire to speak with him. Tell me, where is Gandalf? For I much desire to speak with him.
Okay, this bit's funny.
God. The taking the hobbits to Isengard. God. A Balrog of Morgoth.
Okay, yeah, there's that bit.
Okay,
so it doesn't actually transfer over. I think that's just the one barrier that cannot be crossed.
I think a Lord of the Rings works is basically any kind of video game. You could make a turn-based game out of it.
Yeah.
You could make a fighting game out of it. Probably.
You could make it into a lot of things, honestly.
You could make it into basically
You could make it into
a
fucking kart racing game if you wanted to.
Maybe with horses.
Yeah,
actually,
a horse racing game.
Yeah, you totally could.
That's based as fuck.
The hobbits would just be the worst characters to pick because they'd have ponies.
Yeah. Hey, studios out there, get a hold of me. I've got ideas. Let me cook, all right? I'll make you some money.
We'll make you the horse racing Lord of the Rings game. that was always meant to be.
We're gonna make this happen. I think we went over the subject pretty well.
Fair enough.
Honestly,
Do you think Lord of the Rings music exists? I think it's cringy. I think it's just as cringy as other fandom parodies.
It's all cringy, bro.
Yeah.
Music in the game's good, but...
Oh.
Okay, let's move on to our last subject so we don't accidentally cut it out for talking too long on this.
For sure. Let's not go over time.
How the multiplayer game market has completely and utterly dried up.
Okay. Completely and utterly, kind of strong. Is much worse than it used to be due to corporate greed, are the words I'd use.
That's creaky. Anyways, yeah. I just feel a lot more strongly about it. There's like nothing to play nowadays. Like,
okay, so I'm not a fan of battle royale games, so Apex and Fortnite are just immediately out for me alongside PUBG. But PUBG are where most of the old school COD players are, if they're not playing Warzone. And most of the multiplayer game market is playing Fortnite or Apex. I feel like if you want to play a multiplayer game, you need to play what's popular or what has a dedicated fan base. So you'd either go to there or pick one of the classics. Like, WoW still has a thriving community, and so does TF2.
Let's go over the most popular games right now. We've got games like literally Fortnite and Apex. Those are pretty much exploding still to this day on Twitch. And I absolutely am tired of these. It agitates me that we haven't gotten anything new. Like, the last fresh experience I got with multiplayer games was Elden Ring. And that isn't even really fully a multiplayer experience.
Let's not count that. What was before Elden Ring?
Apex. But, like, it just got to a point where...
What about Warzone? Warzone came out fairly recently.
Warzone's also... They all kind of fall... Okay.
How about Destiny 2? Destiny 2 got a big update recently, I think. I saw a lot of ads for it when it came out.
Destiny 2 feels... Okay, here. Let me go through one point at a time. You've unloaded like 6 games on me. Okay.
3. You exaggerated again.
I do that literally every time. It's funny. So, any of these battle royales that we brought up. Apex, Fortnite, PUBG.
Warzone, I think.
Warzone 2.
There's a second one?
They're all dry and they feel kind of the same, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, yes, they're different with different mechanics and all that. They have different artistic styles, but I'm going to be completely honest. They are so toxic and unfun to play. It doesn't matter if they add another character or another map. They just, at their core, don't feel that great to play anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. One of the biggest draws to non-Battle Royale games for me is the ability to, like, form rivalries for multiple minutes.
Yeah.
And, like, to do that, you need a respawn button. You need to be able to, like, come back, and you need to have a team and another team that fight each other and duke it out. That's why I'm such a big fan of Smite, and that's why I'm such a big fan of Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's just fun to get competitive in that aspect. And I feel like Battle Royales are very unsatisfying on a competitive level because you're not really competing with anyone in that sense.
Right. Like, how do you, for example, get a revenge on someone that one-upped you? Like, they kill you in a lobby and you just have to happen to find them in the next one, right?
Well,
if you even get matched with them in the first place.
The Gulag is a mechanic in Warzone, and I have never played Warzone, but to my understanding of it, when you die, you get sent there, and if you get out of it, you get dropped back into the same game you were playing.
1v1 with another random dude that's also dead.
Yeah, so I think you can hypothetically go get revenge on that guy, but it's not the same as having just a dedicated team and another dedicated team. You can only get a timer on a goal you have set up.
You can only get revenge on that guy if he dies at the same time.
Yeah, well, no, because it drops you back into the same game.
Yes,
so you could hypothetically find the guy who killed you.
Hypothetically, yes, you get a second chance, but the amount of shit you have to go through to get that second chance just makes it feel unrewarding.
Yeah, I just don't think
you don't just get a respawn and get to go at it again and butt heads, you know?
It's a very poor example of what I think makes competitive gaming fun.
It's just not fun, I'm gonna be honest.
What about the new Halo game?
New Halo game, I've heard a lot of things about it being mid as fuck, simply put. I haven't tried it, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it is good, but from what I've heard, it just is an open world shooter. It's like Halo, but without the immersive story on the story play or on the campaign mode, and it's without the fun, almost nostalgic gameplay that we had in the older installations.
And there was another game I had brought up while we were talking about Battle Royales. What was that?
Dementia striking back once again, huh?
Fair enough.
Yeah, simply put, multiplayer games are not fun, and I'm not sure how to fix that in the current market, because right now it's just really battle royales, and I'm kind of tired of them.
I think a big part of it is corporate greed does kind of kill a lot of gaming experiences for people.
Ooh, that's something else I could bring up. Overwatch I really do love. Like, at its core, even now, Overwatch has felt revolutionary. It doesn't feel like the other shooter games. It feels great. It feels unique.
Yeah, it's different from an FPS. It's a hero shooter.
Yeah, even when I feel bad, it's like I can make fun out of this game. There's something to be had every time. However, corporate greed, in a sense, has kind of ruined that game. You know how you get rewarded for, like, well, when Overwatch 1 existed, you know how you get rewarded for playing? You get, like, loot boxes, you get, like, levels, you get that border. I know these are all, like, simple monkey brain stimulant, monkey go, ooh, new shiny thing, or, ooh, I get box full of stuff.
Well,
but those were rewarding. Those made you feel like it was worth your time to play.
The loot box thing did make it harder for Overwatch to market itself in other countries, and increase the age you needed to be to play it. So one could argue that taking loot boxes out of the game made it less toxic, because loot boxes are supposedly a toxic thing to be in video games.
Well, I'll ask this to the crowd. Would you rather buy a bunch of loot boxes, and gamble, well understanding that you're gambling, you're not guaranteed to get that skin, and by the way, you can literally get coins and just buy the skin anyway. You don't have to spin on loot boxes so long as you save up. Or would you rather pay literally $20 for a legendary skin with a couple of other shits attached to it, like a little key fob or whatever? It's like going to a baseball game and, like, buying a $20 like gift bag that has a keychain and, like, I don't know, a fucking fake softball with, like, signatures printed on it that weren't even signed by the players.
Suffice it to say, Overwatch is a rather stale and toxic environment right now.
It is disgustingly corporatized.
Let me pitch this to you. Multiplayer game market's dried up. You don't like any of what's on the market right now.
No.
You're looking for a new experience. You don't want to play like an old game like TF2. You don't want to... Because there are still thriving communities dedicated to, like, TF2, League. You can still hop in COD lobbies.
I mean, yeah. But I just want something that's fresh, something that's new, that isn't what we have been getting.
Okay, describe to me the kind of game you'd like to come out. The perfect multiplayer game in your belief right now.
The perfect multiplayer game?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. Overwatch almost feels like that's what it's supposed to be, but there's things blocking it from being that. Do you remember back in 2016, 2017, when Overwatch first came out?
I don't know, that was too long ago.
There was truly something splendid about loading up, even with all of its bugs and weird things that people didn't realize at the time.
100%.
Oh, I know, because you were there, silly. You were playing with me.
Yeah.
Like, it felt so cool to play, you know? I just wish it was like, I don't know. You can't really get back that nostalgic feeling from a game that came out 7 years ago now. So I guess, I kind of have to acknowledge that, but I don't know what would be more perfect than that, because that game, I guess just that feeling again, but with a game that isn't just another COD copy and paste game, another battle royale. I want something that's like a team game, and if it's like a shooter game, whatever, cool. But I want it to feel unique, It can't be Army Man go fight Army Man, or like Army Man or silly cartoon man, or insert any other character or creature fall in a big lobby and kill each other to be last one alive. Like, I'm tired of that. Like, as for a multiplayer game, I just want something that's like just rid of corporate greed and innovational.
I hear you.
But we're not going to get that in this day and age.
I mean, we might. It's just harder these days. Yeah. Elden Ring was a big...
That's why I brought it up earlier. Like, Elden Ring, yeah, it's not fully multiplayer, but oh my god. Opening it for the first time, getting that intro, and just exploring the world, that game was stupendous on release. And it still is really good. It's just that. But in multiplayer.
This year's been sort of the year of the single-player game, It's possible in a few years we might get another year where a bunch of fun multiplayer games come out. But it's not likely that anything's going to defy the current trends, right? That's not super likely. So more than likely, the next, like, great Overwatch-feeling game is just going to be a battle royale.
Maybe.
Or it might be the genre that replaces battle royales and team games, like team shooter games, will just be a thing of the past that boomers talk about over coffee on the weekends.
Yeah, us already at this point. We already have the coffee, and we're getting to the weekend, so... Oh, boy. That's depressing. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's not like there's not things to play. I just want something that's, like, new and isn't just the same old thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
I guess I'm trying to describe a very vague emotion, and it's not exactly nostalgia, but it associates somewhat close to nostalgia.
Yeah, it seems like not only do you want a good multiplayer game to come out, but you also want as much free time as you had in high school.
Not even exactly that. It's just I want it to have an impact. Elden Ring did the same thing. When I got Elden Ring, I played the shit out of that for a few days, and I still could if I wanted to. I just have to divvy it up. Whatever.
I guess I should ask you about the games that are making splashes now that are a little more on the down low. What's your opinion on Valorant? Valorant is a very competitive team shooter style game. It came out past Overwatch. It solves a lot of the problems Overwatch does, where like the game is very, very dependent on one person rather than a team. So like if you're really good, you can carry a team, but if you're really bad, you can still find a niche as like the support guy or the smoke grenade guy.
Mm-hmm. I haven't actually tried it. I think the one thing that kind of scares me about it is kind of reminds me a little bit of like, not entirely, but like Siege. When I see it, at least online, and I haven't actually played it, so again, maybe I'm just missing out.
Oh, you're
and
100% right. It's completely aping the Siege and the CS:GO community. It's a sweat fest. Like the tryhard of the tryhards go there.
Like I got Siege because like my buddies ended up getting it too, and like I just remember them having such a bad time with that game, and I did too. Siege is like it's really cool concept, but like all the cheaters in the game, all the sweat fucks. It's just not fun.
The people that are the best at the game and try the hardest at the game, or at games in general, go to games like Siege and CS:GO and Valorant. In addition to that, the people most likely to cheat go there. So when you lose, you've got no idea if it's to someone who's hacked the game or to someone who's just way too good for you to play against. And it's a feel bad either way.
Yeah. There's no solace in losing. You just lose. It's fuck. Well, that could have been unfair, or it could have been even more unfair. Well, do you have any other input on that, or do you want to move on to our last segment?
We have a last segment?
Yeah, we always talk about extra stuff at the end of the podcast.
Right, fair enough. Let's see here. Anything more to throw out on multiplayer games? Have you tried anything? Maybe you want like a good, solid, wholesome co-op experience instead of something hyper competitive. Have you tried like Deep Rock Galactic or anything like that?
Dude, I love that game, but it's so unfun alone, and no one's got it, or at least no one ends up playing it. Like
there's supportive communities. I'm sure you could find like a Discord server and meet some chill homies to rock some Galactics or whatever you guys do.
Deep Rock Galactic is pretty bussin'. I could always try and get into that more, yeah. Maybe I just need to look for like those experiences. I guess it's just I played Apex on release. I played Fortnite on release, and I know Fortnite stinky whatever.
FortniteBurger.com, look it up.
Honestly, back in the day, don't look up Fortnite Burger. Actually, I'm pretty sure that site's down. Wreck-It Ralph's cock is on there, so unless you're into Wreck-It Ralph cock, don't go there.
You're not supposed to tell them.
Maybe they already clicked off. I'm sorry, Swedish guy. That is not a sausage.
Italian man, that is a sausage.
Those are Italian meatballs.
Irish man, that's sausage.
Not sausage.
I really hope we get an Irish viewer.
I'm sorry.
Send
Mr.
this to
Irish.
your friends in Ireland, please.
If you guys have friends in Ireland, please have them tune in so we can make fun of them, I guess, along with everyone else.
Yeah, just send this to math people too, and
math
don't
people
explain
and
why.
For people.
And don't explain why.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We sound pretty dry right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Okay. Well, this has been Complimentary Mania. I'm complimentary. Wait, I thought it was Mania.
I'm a manticle. I'm a manticore.
And I am a kumquat. So thank you for
Kumquat
listening
Manticore.
to the Kumquat Manticore. I'm Mania, and he's complimentary. Y'all have a good night.